Ever wonder what it all pays for? Want to know if I'm lying? Alright, here's some cars crazier than your last Fortnite win. Buckle up folks, it's going to make your jaws drop. So spoiler alert, they can buy cars that can pay your rent for the next 10 years. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the best part. Let's start with Summit 1G, a streamer who's feel like he's been around since the dawn of time, and only loves gaming slightly more than his love for cars. But if you think Summit is going to flex with Italian supercars, then think again. This fellow is all about the JDM classics, specifically the Nissan GT-R. Now, Summit 1G is a very serious car guy, and his collection certainly proves that. He has curated an assortment of precision and performance at least as much as nostalgia, rather than big flashy exotic rides. Among the first cars in his garage is the Nissan R32 GT-R, which he enduringly nicknames Godzilla, promising monstrous performance. Now, if you're a car enthusiast, there is enough said about why the R32 has earned its legendary status within the car community. It's a JDM icon, a piece of automotive history that completely dominated the racing circuits back in the day. Summit picked up this beauty in 2019, and it's a reflection of his status, not just as a gamer, but as someone who knows and appreciates the finer things in life. The R32 comes with a 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-6 engine, as well as an all-wheel drive system, making it clutch to handle. What you're talking about is a car that may be more than 30 years old, yet can still stand with the best of the modern sports cars. And here's the kicker, it can do all that for only around $60,000. The price of which is a bargain when looking at what you get. Summit's R32 is a little flex, showing that he's got taste and knows what makes a car truly special. But owning an R32 is just the beginning. Summit's interest in GTRs didn't stop at the classics. He has also owned one of the Nissan R35 GTR Nismo cars, which is the spiritual successor to the R32, but on a totally different level. The R35 is like the R32, but on steroids. It will give you more than 600 horsepower, boasting carbon fiber around every crevice, and performance figures that can make even the most experienced supercar owners break a sweat. Summit clearly knows the right mix of this old school affection and modern performance. And at a price point close to $210,000, we can safely say that the R35 is Summit's made it car. And what's even better is that the R35 Nismo comes out of the factory completely equipped. But if Summit wants to get it customized even further, he's free to do that. He could slap on an aftermarket exhaust, custom wheels, or maybe even tweak the aerodynamics with a bigger wing or splitter. The car is already insane, and with just a little extra flair, it could be absolutely mind-blowing. Shift and let's roll over to Tim the Tap Man. Summit 1G's car collection is precision engineering, but Tim's loud boom of big American horsepower, which is just huge, in this collection represents so much of who he is as a person. He's not screwing around with sleek sports or some serious high-end hypercar. No way. These are bold, in-your-face trucks that take the center stage. The crown jewel of Tim's collection? That would be his Jeep Gladiator Hellcat. Now if that's crazy, that's because it is. Picture taking the heart of a muscle car, a 707 horsepower Hellcat engine, and shoving it into an off-road brawler like the Jeep Gladiator. That's exactly what Tim did, and the results are simply absolute monsters. It's not going off-road, it's tearing up the landscape like it's on a rampage. Costing around $100,000, it is that truck that turns heads no matter where it goes. It's big, brash, and outrageously American, just like Tim. Tim has completely customized his own Gladiator Hellcat, so it isn't just about raw power, but something to look at. The lift kits, the oversized tires, and the custom paint jobs, these are all things that Tim probably did on that truck. And this is what makes it the type of vehicle that lets everybody know you're there and they won't miss you. Everything a person should expect from Tim the Tap Man. Bold, loud, and built to dominate. But that's not where the stop ends. This person, Tim, needed two trucks. I mean, why end it there? He had a second, a Ford Raptor. Off-road behemoth, another staple in the world of high-performance trucks, the Ford Raptor is basically the Gladiator of trucks. Tough, powerful, and ready for just about anything. It's got a twin-turbo V6 engine that cranks out enough horsepower to tow a house if you wanted to. What makes the Raptor special is not that it was just powerful, but that it could quite adequately play off-road trails the same way it cruised down the highway. Tim likes that this particular Raptor's ruggedness and power really fit his lifestyle. Priced at around $75,000, the Raptor is that sort of truck for a guy who wants to take on the world, not just in and out of work, but also on the highways and off-roadways. And of course, Tim has tricked out his Raptor to the nth degree, from aftermarket wheels to a beefed up suspension system. Everything about his Raptor screams, Tim the Tap Man was here. And honestly, if you're Tim, you don't drive a stock car. Just like his streams, his car are an extension of his larger-than-life personality. Between Summit 1G and Tim the Tapman, you have two completely different takes on car collecting, but both are perfect in their own right. One appreciates what goes into each car, the history and craftsmanship, and the other makes a statement about himself with as loud and as powerful trucks as he can think of. Precise engineering or brute force. One of these streamers has it for everyone in their garages. Now take Soda Poppin', the man who brings luxury and performance together. Tim's cars can be said to be raw power, but Soda Poppin's stable is a bit more tamed, yet still as hellish as they come. He's just the type of guy who's got a classy taste for classy high-end high-performance vehicles, and it most definitely tells. First on that list, of course, is his Porsche 911 GT3. Now, if you're an audio enthusiast but don't know what the GT3 is, let me break it down for you. Essentially, it's known as a floating rocket ship for car enthusiasts. It's simply a car built for people who enjoyed speed, real speed. So it has a naturally aspirated flat-six engine with the ability to rev up all the way up to 9,000 RPM. In other words, this car was literally built for the racing track, and Soda Poppin' is just cruising around with it like it's no big deal. The GT3 is very much in line with Soda Poppin's personality, sleekly designed and performance-oriented, yet with just the right dash of flash without overbearing the viewer's senses. Now, the car does not come cheap, around $180,000, but if you're one of the biggest streamers out there, you could treat yourself to something as extravagant as this. However, besides gasoline pumps, Soda Poppin' also used a Tesla Model S Plaid, one of the fastest production cars on the earth. And when I say fast, I mean really, really fast. This thing does 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. I mean, that's faster than most can even process what's occurring. It starts off at $135,000, and the Tesla Model S Plaid is something more than a car. It says, I care about the environment, but I also want to beat everyone else at the stoplight. All that futuristic tech packed into their cars make it a perfect fit for someone like Soda Poppin', who's always cutting edge in gaming and streaming. Next on the list is Ali A, who is the YouTube icon dominating everyone's screens since the days of Call of Duty and Fortnite. The moment the name Ali A is mentioned, one finds oneself envisioning full-on high-energy content, flashy videos, and hundreds of hysterical followers screaming and rallying for him. Obviously, it's no different when his car collection is involved. Loud, ostentatious, and a real showstopper. So let's dive right into the Audi R8 V10 Plus. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced the snarl of a naturally aspirated V10, but let me tell you, it's quite like hearing a lion in a steel cage ready to pounce. This car is basically a high-performance symphony. We're talking about 610 horsepower and the rest, the 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. Sleek, fast, cool, and $174,000. I mean, that's pocket change for Ali A, right? This guy's been slaying video game content for over a decade, and his car choices reflect that. Plus, the Audi R8 isn't just about speed, it's also about style. The sharp lines, the low stance, and the way it just owns the road. It's like the automotive equivalent of Ali A dominating a Fortnite lobby. But wait, there's more. Ali A stops not at one supercar, not a chance. This man comes with a Lamborghini Huracan, and if you thought that the Audi was impressive, the Huracan takes that to a whole other level. A car of this type makes people stop. They're loud and aggressive and come fitted with a naturally aspirated V10 engine that'll put out 610 horsepower. Correct, the same number of performance as the R8, but more panache and flair. The car screams luxury and performance and comes with a price tag of $210,000. Evidently, Ali A is not just playing games, he's living that high life. The Huracan is the type of car that makes a statement, and for a guy like Ali A who's been making waves on YouTube for 10 years now, it's the perfect car. Alright, let's bring in another streamer, one who knows how to come rolling in style. Shroud, the calm, cool, and collected sniper king of streaming. Now you might know him for his ridiculous accuracy in games, but what you might not know is that Shroud's car collection is just as impressive as his KD ratio. And apparently, to his personality, his collection is a bit on the understated side, but that doesn't make it any less epic. First of all, Shroud's got a McLaren 720S, because of course, why wouldn't he? The man's all about precision, and there's no car out there that represents surgical accuracy like the 720S. The thing's an absolute beast, with a twin-turbocharged V8 that produces over 700 horsepower. It's one of those cars that's not just fast, it's smart. The aerodynamics of this thing would give the impression that it could slice through the air when you're just sitting there. But here's the kicker, Shroud doesn't even have to be flashy about it. A sleek, fast, and deadly car, kinda like his FPS skills. This is the perfect ride for a guy who prefers his skills to speak for themselves than rather, well, not proving anything. But at $300,000 plus, you must admit, Shroud is doing just fine. Next in line is that cool BMW M4, because why not throw in a little German engineering for daily drives? An M4 is a car that is not too flashy, but packs enough of a punch to leave most other cars in the dust. For all intents and purposes, the M4 will get you to Starbucks and back in record time, with its inline-6 engine and rear-wheel drive. It's great for anyone who wants performance, but doesn't need to be loud about it. An observation precisely said about Shroud. Its price? It retails for around $70,000. That is roughly the daily driver for someone who makes millions playing video games for a living. Last but certainly not least, we have Montana Black 88, the German streaming powerhouse with an arsenal of cars as loudmouth as his streaming personality. They're all about that high-octane lifestyle, and the cars? Exactly that. His first shows us the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Now, the Huracan has been a beast in its own right, but this Performante owning Huracan? Next level. The thing's got 640 horsepower under the bonnet, and is naturally aspirated, no turbos or superchargers in sight. Pure, unfiltered Italian muscle. It's loud, it's fast, and is made of more carbon fiber than even an F1 car. With a price tag of $274,000, Montana Black 88 didn't hold much back when he went out and flexed this to the world. His car is basically his equivalent audiophile streaming style, loud, aggressive, and impossible to ignore. But when Montana Black 88 needs to dial it down a notch, and by dial it down, I mean just a little, he gets into his Porsche Panamera Turbo S. Now, if you don't know what a Panamera is, let me enlighten you. It's pretty much Porsche's take on a luxury sedan, only it's got 620 horsepower and can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3 seconds. So yeah, it's a luxury sedan, but also basically a rocket ship. This car is more or less about comfort combined with speed. It's like a guy named Montana Black 88. He is comfortable while still going 100 miles an hour, enjoying his style comfortably. The Panamera Turbo S will run you $180,000, so you can show it off, but have a little bit of practicality at the same time. It's a bit as though one wears a tuxedo with running shoes. Elegance, but always ready to run off if need be. Whew, that's what you call a luxury overload. Thanks for sticking around. If these streamer rides blew your mind, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. Ever wonder what kind of luxury rides the NFL players are rolling in? Check out this video to see the jaw-dropping cars they own.